Hey there, and welcome back to another one of my YouTube videos, straight to YouTube Premiere. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Today, I want to talk about the relationship between uniques, crits, and just how strong crits are in general, as well as the um, the trouble that you have when theory crafting because of local crit. So, just to explain for those that are maybe newer to the game or haven't really bothered dealing with this before, stats in this game are broken up into two parts. You have local stats, and then you have global, increase to stats. So, for example, the energy shield that is displayed here on these gloves, this is a local energy shield. So when I have a 100% increased 100% increased maximum energy shield in my tree, it is 100% increased of this. That's a local stat. Now, where this gets more complicated is when we get into criticals. So criticals for spells is based directly on the spell itself. So I should have prepped the spell ahead of time. I don't have a spell on me. But the spell critical local, the local critical chance, is directly on the spell itself. So I think Spark is 9%, Comet is 11%. And then for any attack based skill, it is part of the weapon. The crit is based on the weapon. So the so criticals and things like that are based on the weapon. So let me just grab a skill gem here just to show the point. So let's say we take Spark. There it is, critical chance 9%. This is your local critical chance. So when you have increased critical chance in the tree, it is based off of this amount. And then if you go to where's Comet? Comet? Or actually, it's actually 13%. My mistake. So this is where, and this is why a lot of people say Blood Mage is OP, because Blood Mage has this little thing in the tree that makes base critical to hit chance for spells is 15%. So this means your 9% spell is suddenly a 15% crit chance spell. And this goes for everything. So you can crit scale everything extremely well. And crit scaling in this game is incredibly powerful. And just to demonstrate, so my speedrun Blood Mage, this is the POB for it, 99.45% crit chance on Spark. Let's remove this node. 58.59%. So we go from effectively 100% to a little over 50%. So from almost one half of the crit chance that I have with the ascendancy, and that's why sometimes for spells it might feel difficult to scale crits very well with other classes outside of obviously Lifestack with Wrathpit, because you get such a ridiculous amount of critical hit chance that it doesn't even matter what ascendancy you're going anymore. But let's just say for just a normal non-Wrathpit build, this is what you're dealing with. And again, this is not a Wrathpit build, so this is what you're dealing with. And keep in mind, this is a 63% sanctify on the crit chance. That's over sank, and here I have a perfect 73% crit chance on corrupt, or that's what it would be. It's +3, so corrupted for the extra socket, but that is a max roll T1. So both of these were T1 max roll, and this was sanctified to overroll. So I'm not exactly lacking on the critical hit chance anywhere. So I've picked up the critical hit chance, I've picked up the critical hit chance, critical hit chance, critical hit chance, critical hit chance, and more critical hit chance here. So I'm not exactly lacking in critical hit chance, but you can see the huge difference in Spark. That even with all of these nodes and everything, I'm at 58%, which for some might say, oh, that's really good. Probably is pretty good because of the gear, but you're seeing the effect of that local crit. So So my friend, actually just asked me earlier today, what do you think about? He was asking me for advice on a spear, so I just pulled up his POB, and you can see. And again, this is just going to be a difference in weapons. I copied his weapon in the POB, so right now he has 100% crit chance. I made a second, just same exact stats on the spear, and I just removed the crit chance. So we go from 11.37 local crit chance to 6.5 local crit chance, and we go down to 73.66. And probably the effect is less noticeable here because he's almost guaranteed to be overcapped on crit. Um, Past 100%, so you're not seeing the total real drop because you're not seeing the past 100 in the first place. But that's basically the main thing I wanted to show, and that's one of the reasons why Blood Mage is so incredibly strong, is because criticals in this game are very strong for scaling damage. There's only so many damage nodes that you can get, and damage nodes are additive. So if you have a plus 100%, or sorry, if you have 100% increased spell damage across 5 different notables, and then you add a sixth one for another 20%, so 120% total, it's just all additive with each other. Meanwhile, crits are multiplicative on that number, which means that it is one of the main ways that you are going to be scaling damage in the end game. And now here comes my issue with theory crafting. Let's go take a look at, so I already did this. I sorted by, I looked through the list. What was the most common unique weapon in the game? Last Lament. And I've used Mjolnir as well. The same applies for most unique weapons that are being used. Let's go take a look at their trees. So I actually didn't look through all of these anyway, so this is going to be a first for me. Let's look at through all these trees. So the reason I'm bringing this up, he's not even maining Last Lament, but here he goes. This is Last Lament. So I use this in the 0.2 world record Succumus speedrun, just for boss nuking, because Composer Requiem is an incredibly strong skill. So it just nukes, it just shits out damage, and I was honestly expecting it to be nerfed for 0.3, but here we are. So it's still being used. And here you can see that it has just very good physical damage, not mirror tier or anything, but it's still very good, respectable, and a 5% crit chance. That's the local crit chance. It's 5%. So seems like a lot of these are doing swaps. Oh, you hear again. Okay, well, this is let's pull up the Lich because I think the Liches are maining the Last Lament. There it is. Okay, so you actually have a Lich, a quad socket, Last Lament. Hmm. None of these crit nodes are taken. None of these crit nodes are taken. None of these crit nodes are taken. And you get the picture, right? And let's look at the others. No crit nodes taken. No crit nodes. No crit nodes taken. Let's check this one real quick. No crit nodes. No crit nodes. And you get the picture, right? So none of these people are taking crit nodes. And because the GGG has set up critical in such a way that it's not really worth building critical damage, critical hit chance, and critical damage unless you have a build with a high base critical, because the scaling is so poor. So let's go ahead and open the Lament Lich, because I know that's a popular build right now. Let's go ahead and open this in Path of Building. And just for the fun of it, so you can see he's got 6.95% crit. I'm actually not sure where the rest of the crit came from. Might have something to do with the Viper cap, maybe in the surrounded nodes. Is it this? Crit damage. I'm actually not certain where he got the crit chance from. Anyway, not really the point. So just for the fun of it, let's go ahead. Imagine we had like just spare extra points. Let's go ahead and spec into all these crit points. Wow. We spent like 20 plus points just now. We spent something like 20 points specking into like some of the main crit clusters. Um, and look how far it got us on the crit chance. Now we did go 3 times the base crit chance, but we're sitting at 15%, which is kind of pitiful. And that is the problem with this relationship between local and global crit chance is that if you don't have good crit chance on the weapon or on the spell, or then you cannot scale crits effectively. For similar investments, for similar investment in the blood mage, we're able to get to what 99%. We're able to get to 99%, and here we are, barely pushing past 15% with a endgame lament build. And now I'm sure there's probably a few other crit nodes that I could have picked up around here. I thought there was a surrounded one. Anyway. So yeah, I'm sure there was a few other things I could have picked up as well, just to push crit a little bit more. True, they could have passed through here. We can drop something like this. Okay, we're at 16.86. I think the picture is clear. So this is one of my bigger issues or complaints with the game right now, is that it feels awkward. Like there's already a big push, I would say, for uniques to be more useful, because right now it feels like let's just for the hell of it go through the list of uniques. This is going to be starting to get a bit rambly, but how many of these are actually being used as like main hand weapons at this point? So I know Last Lament is. Alm of the Dreamer is getting used. I mean, it's a scepter, it's offhand. Is Lion Eyes even being used? I know there was some stuff talking about it. I know people have been theory crafting with Fairgraves, but yeah, overall it's been pretty slim, I'd say. Tangle Tongue's crit got nerfed, and people aren't using it anymore. Pillar got nerfed, but yeah. So overall, I would say most of these items are just not being used. Mjolnir is being used, so that is fun. But it's not being. But again, if you look up Mjolnir builds, you're gonna find that they're probably not scaling crit. I would take a guess, or if they scale crit, the only reason is because the spells socketed in Mjolnir may have high crit. So, that's the thing. Like we're looking through this list, and you Scythus for maybe bleed. I think there's a poison spear too, or is it? Here it is, Splinter of Loretta. So for poison builds. So yeah, there's the general feeling that a lot of the uniques in this game are just not being used. The items are meant for low levels, but they're so rare at low levels that by the time you get them, you're probably in the end game, and then you're looking at it like, oh, why would I wear a crossbow with like 26 physical damage? So we're just in this place where uniques just feel really bad, and even the ones designed around endgame, so like Last Lament, Mjolnir, things like that, their lack of crit, makes it harder to scale them into like very high end endgame builds. And that's why I've said things like the Last Lament build just feels like an early endgame build. Like it functions. You can go clear stuff. Requiem is OP, so you can nuke a boss with it, but it's not like you're not like really min-maxing DPS checks, you're not speedrunning anything, you're not doing anything better than any other build. It just exists and is functional. And that's mostly because Lament is so restricted. You can't push Lament further than what people have already done with it. Like I mean, I ran Deadeye Lament for my league start. Last Lament Lich was there last league too. So what maybe GGG's happy with where it is and didn't nerf it because there's no crit scaling on it. So, people will just use it and move on from it later. And that's about it. So, there you have it. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about crit scaling. Even when it comes to minions, it's interesting because the frozen mandibles, I don't have one summoned, but the crit chance for the frozen mandibles is really bad. Meanwhile, crit chance for the powered zealots is actually quite good, or at least way better. So I have 12.6% here, and if I summon an ant, it would be at like 6% or something. 6 or 7%. It's really bad on the ants. So we even run into the same issue with the reason that a lot of people switch to zealots is they just do so much more damage. So yep. Again, thanks for watching. Interested in hearing your thoughts. What do you think? Leave a comment down below or join the Discord and we can have some more in-depth discussions. And yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.